Kings of Olympus. I'm Ariel, and today we leave the battlefields behind and step into the world of love, pride, and destiny. Because today we tell the true story of how Zeus, the King of Olympus, won the heart of Hera, Queen of the Gods. Oh, and we'll also tell the story of Apollo and Artemis if we have time. So, anyways, let's begin. After the Titanomachi, Zeus ruled from the highest peak, but the world was still quiet and lonely. The thrones beside him were empty. Poseidon's was in the sea, making his own palace. Hades was in the underworld, and Demeter was busy doing stuff that great goddesses do. Zeus needed companions. He needed a queen. At first, Zeus traveled across the world, falling in love with many powerful goddesses. He loved Metis, the titaness of wisdom. At first, he thought it was perfect, but then he received a prophecy that said that the child he had with Metis will be smarter than him. So, he even loved Metis, really, but fearing a prophecy that her child would be stronger than him, Zeus swallowed Metis whole. And there goes the first one. And anyways, inside him, Metis whispered advice forever. And Zeus also became more intelligent by swallowing a wisdom goddess, which is weird. Okay, then he loved Themis, the titaness of divine law. And from her came the fates and the seasons. He loved Eurynomé, and together they birthed the three Graces, goddesses of beauty and charm. And then he loved Demeter, which is practically his own sister. And literally no one still knows why the gods can marry each other. Siblings. Literally. Okay. He loved Demeter, and from their union came Persephone, but that is the story for the next time. Then he loved Mnemosyne, mother of the Muses, goddesses of art, music, and poetry. Then he loved Leto, who would one day bear him shining twins. Yes, Apollo and Artemis. But none of these goddesses became his queen. Only one goddess was strong enough, proud enough, to sit beside Zeus on the throne of Olympus. Her name was Hera. Zeus loved Hera from the moment he saw her, but Zeus would not convince Hera. Zeus couldn't. Hera wouldn't be won easily. She refused all his proposals, all his bribes, his gifts. Time after time, Hera said no. Zeus, determined, came up with a clever plan, and a determined Zeus makes a scary Zeus. He transformed himself into a tiny, shivering cuckoo bird. One day, during a storm, the little bird fluttered into Hera's arms. Seeing the poor creature cold and helpless, Hera picked it up and held it close to her heart. And at that moment, Zeus revealed himself. "You have shown me kindness, dear Hera. Now join me as my queen." Hera, caught by honor and love, finally agreed on one condition: Zeus would not marry any more women, just Hera. And Zeus agreed, and so the gods rejoiced. The earth itself, well, if the earth could celebrate, it celebrated, and the greatest wedding in the history of Olympus was about to begin. The gods decorated the skies with golden clouds. The river flowed with sweet nectar. The flowers of each color bloomed on every mountain and valley.
Long live the King and Queen of Olympus!
Right. I forgot to mention my mom's here. So, let's continue. The celebrations lasted for days and nights without end. The whole world rejoiced, not just the gods. I know, a lot of rejoiced. And from that day forward, Zeus and Hera ruled Olympus as king and queen, bringing power, order, and family to the world of the gods. But their story and the stories of the gods were just yet to be born, and we were just beginning. Right. And how about this? Let's take a break and we'll be back before you know it. Let's go. Anyways, if you're listening still here, please continue to the rest. You can just skip the rest part if you want, or you could grab a water break and a snacks break, and come back with more Tales of Olympus. We're back. Well, that wasn't so bad after all. Not like I thought it were gonna be. So welcome back, heroes. And now we witness the birth of two of the most brilliant gods in all of mythology, the shining twins, Apollo and Artemis. Their story begins with hardship, courage, and a tiny island that changed the world. After the great wedding of Zeus and Hera, the thrones of Olympus did not fill. Maybe they had kids, but none of them were enough to be Olympians. And not even all births were peaceful. Even though Zeus did agree to Hera that he wouldn't marry anyone more, but he still had many lovers. Not like somebody loved him, he asked for their love. He literally just went around trying to find pretty goddesses or titanesses to marry. To have affairs with. And one goddess wandered the world, heavy with the future. Her name was Leto. Leto, the kind and gentle titaness, had been loved by Zeus. Now she carried his children, twins, destined for greatness. But Hera, burning with jealousy, cast a terrible curse. No land under the sun shall give Leto a place to give birth. The earth itself obeyed Hera's cruel command. No city, no mountain, no island, no forest. Everywhere Leto went, doors closed. Nymphs abandoned her. She wandered alone, growing weaker, carrying her unborn children with bravery and sorrow. But one day, Leto came upon a strange floating island, small, rocky, and forgotten. Its name was Delos. Delos spoke to Leto in a voice like soft waves. I am no great land. I float, untied to the earth. Here, no law binds you. Rest and bring your children into the world." And so, under the golden light of the sun, upon the tiny island of Delos, Leto gave birth to her first child, Artemis. Artemis was strong from the very first breath she took. She opened her eyes, stood proudly, and without hesitation helped her mother prepare for the second birth. For Artemis would always be the protector of women and children, the goddess of the hunt, and the spirit of wild forests and mountains. She vowed never to be bound, never to be tamed, never to marry. Soon after, Apollo came. His hair glowed like sunlight. His eyes sparkled like pure gold. He was then known as the god of music, poetry, and art, lord of the light and truth, healer of the sick, and defender of justice. The twin gods, born in secret, brought new light to the world. The tiny island of Delos, once forgotten, became sacred forever. And the gods themselves sang with joy, as two powerful forces had joined Olympus. But peace never lasts long in myths. When Apollo grew strong, he learned that while his mother carried him, she had been hunted by a terrible monster, Python, a huge dark serpent that guarded the sacred oracle of Gaia at Delphi. Filled with righteous anger, Apollo swore to protect his mother's honor. He took up his silver bow, strung with the light of the sun, and went to confront the beast. At the foot of Mount Parnassus, Python slithered, massive and terrible. The air grew thick with poison. The ground shook. But Apollo stood firm. He drew back his bow and fired arrows as bright as the morning sun. Arrow after arrow struck Python. The great serpent roared and fought, but Apollo's light was too powerful. At last, with a shot to the eye, Python fell, defeated. To honor his victory, Apollo claimed the sacred site of Delphi as his own. He established the Oracle of Delphi, where mortals could hear the will of the gods through priestesses who spoke Apollo's truth and prophecy. The shrine would remain for sacred centuries. And just like that, Apollo became not just the god of light, but the voice of prophecy itself. Meanwhile, Artemis chose her own paths. Wait, no! Before we get on to Artemis, just something to say about Apollo. Apollo also had many love stories, which we'll talk about in the later episodes. Mark my words. I swear on the river Styx that I will one day make an episode about it. So, let's continue with Artemis. Meanwhile, Artemis chose her own path. She loved the wild. Forests, rivers, mountains, animals roaming free. Then she asked her father for a gift. Father, grant me a bow like Apollo's, the freedom to run wild forever, and the promise that I shall never be forced to marry. Zeus, smiling at his fierce daughter, agreed. And from then on, Artemis roamed the forest with her band of loyal hunters, protect young women and animals, and became the fearless guardian of the wild. She was forever free, forever strong, forever untamed. From pain and wandering, from courage and light, two of the greatest gods were born, Artemis, the protector of wild things, and Apollo, the bringer of light and music. Together, they lit the halls of Olympus like twin stars. But more gods were still waiting to join them. The family of Olympus was not yet complete. So, there were a lot to go left, many more gods to go. But now, 7 down, and 5 to go. New powers, new stories, and new adventures were just beyond the horizon. Thank you for listening to Tales of Olympus. Next time, we'll meet Ares and Athena. Ares was the wild god of war, and Athena was the goddess of wisdom and battle strategy. And discover that even on Olympus, not all battles are won with strength alone. See you later, heroes of Olympus. Let's go! Also, I've seen our backstage data, and I have to say we're improving. But please tell this podcast with others, your friends, your families. Please. And I truly believe that together we can make this podcast real and come together. And also, please leave a comment on Apple Podcast or just our website on First Story. And thanks to First Story for hosting this podcast. This is a success so far. And please come back for next episode for more Olympus stories. My name is Ariel, and I'm 10 years old, and I will see you next episode. Woo!